Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Career Prep. Today we learn how to solve problems on the topic average, cricket scores and innings. Since questions based on this topic are most frequently asked in competitive exams, it makes sense to understand the concept well. These questions are the ones where marks can be scored easily if practiced well. Before we begin, please subscribe to our channel. Also press the bell icon to get notifications as soon as we post a new video. So let's start. A batsman makes a score of 87 runs in the 17th inning and thus increases his average by 3. Find his average after the 17th inning. So we are asked to find the batsman's average after the 17th innings. So let the average after the 17th innings be X. Now total runs scored in 17 innings is equal to number of innings multiplied by average. This is 17 multiplied by X, which is 17x. So total runs scored in 17 innings is 17x. Now it's given that after the 17th inning, the batsman's average has increased by 3. Now we know that the average after the 17th inning is X. So clearly the average after the 16th inning is 3 less than X, which is X minus 3. So average after 16th inning is X minus 3. So total runs scored in 16 innings is equal to number of innings multiplied by average. This is 16 multiplied by X minus 3. So total runs scored in 16 innings is 16 multiplied by X minus 3. Now clearly total runs scored in 17 innings is equal to total runs scored in 16 innings plus runs scored in the 17th inning. Now we know that the total runs scored in 17 innings is 17x. Total runs scored in 16 innings is 16 multiplied by x minus 3. And it's given that the batsman has scored 87 runs in the 17th innings. So runs scored in the 17th innings is 87. So substituting all these values here, we get 17x is equal to 16 multiplied by x minus 3 plus 87. On solving, we get x is equal to 87 minus 48, which is 39. So the batsman's average after the 17th inning is 39. The average of runs of a cricket player of 10 innings was 32. How many runs must he make in his next innings so as to increase his average by 4? Now it's given that the average in 10 innings is 32. So total runs in 10 innings is equal to average multiplied by number of innings, which is 32 multiplied by 10, that is 320. So total runs in 10 innings is 320. Now it's given that after the 11th innings, there's an increase in average by 4. We know that the average uh, after 10 innings was 32. So the new average after the 11th innings is 32 plus 4, which is 36. So total runs in 11 innings is new average multiplied by new number of innings. That is 36 multiplied by 11, which is 396. So now we know that the total runs in 10 innings is 320. Total runs in 11 innings is 396. So the runs made in the 11th inning is 396 minus 320, which is 76. So the cricket player makes 76 runs in the 11th innings. In the first 10 overs of a cricket game, the run rate was only 3.2. What should be the run rate in the remaining 40 overs to reach the target of 282 runs? Now it's given that the run rate in the first 10 overs is 3.2. So total runs scored in the first 10 overs is equal to run rate multiplied by number of innings, which is 3.2 multiplied by 10, which gives us 32. So the total runs scored in the first 10 overs is 32. Now it's given that the target is 282 runs, but the runs scored in 10 overs is 32. So in the remaining 40 overs, the runs to be scored is 282 minus 32, which is 250. So 250 runs have to be scored in the remaining 40 overs. So the required run rate is equal to total runs to be scored divided by remaining number of innings, which is nothing but 250 divided by 40, which gives us 6.25. So the required run rate is 6.25. In a cricket match, 6 players had an average X of their runs. Average increases by 10 runs if the seventh player makes a score of 112 runs. What is the average of the first 6 players? So we are asked to find out X, which is the average of the first 6 players. Now it's given that the average of the first 6 players is X. So sum of scores of 6 players is equal to number of players multiplied by average. This is 6 multiplied by X, which is 6X. So the sum of scores of 6 players is 6X. It's given that the average increases by 10 when the seventh player makes a score of 112 runs. Now we know that the average of the first 6 players is X. So now the average increases by 10 when the seventh player makes a score of 112 runs. So the average of 7 players is X plus 10. Now clearly the sum of scores of 7 players is equal to score of 6 players plus the score of the seventh player. We know that the score of 6 players is 6x and the score of seventh player is given as 112 runs. It's given in the question that the score of the seventh player is 112 runs. So the sum of 7 players is equal to 6x plus 112. Now we know that average is equal to sum of scores divided by number of players. Now the average of 7 players is x plus 10. Sum of scores of 7 players is 6x plus 112. Number of players is 7. So substituting all these values in the formula, we get x plus 10 is equal to 6x plus 112 divided by 7. On cross multiplication, we get 7x plus 70 is equal to 6x plus 112. On solving, we get x is equal to 12. Now x is nothing but the average of the first 6 players. So the average of the first 6 players is 42. A cricketer has a certain average for 10 innings. In the 11th inning, he scored 108 runs, thereby increasing his average by 6 runs. What is his new average? Now let the average for 10 innings be X. So total runs in 10 innings is equal to number of innings multiplied by average. This is 10 multiplied by x, which is 10x. So the total runs in 10 innings is 10x. Now it's given that he scored 108 runs in the 11th inning. So total runs in 11 innings is equal to 10x plus 108. This is the first equation. Now it's given that after 11 innings, his average increased by 6 runs. So average, we know that the average for 10 innings is x. So now his average has increased by 6. So the new average is x plus 6. So total runs in 11 innings is equal to number of innings multiplied by average. This is 11 multiplied by x plus 6. This is the second equation. Now on comparing 1 and 2, we have 10x plus 108 is equal to 11 multiplied by x plus 6. On solving, we get x is equal to 42. But we are asked to find the new average. The new average is x plus 6. So the new average is 42 plus 6, which is 48. The average runs scored by a batsman in 20 matches is 40. In the next 10 matches, the batsman scored an average of 13 runs. Find his average in all the 30 matches. So we can find the average in all the 30 matches by using the formula average in 30 matches is equal to total score in 30 matches divided by total number of matches. From the question, it's clear that the total number of matches is 30. So if we can find the total score in 30 matches, then we can easily calculate the average in 30 matches. Now it's given that the average in 20 matches is 40. So the total score of the batsman in 20 matches is equal to average multiplied by number of matches. This is 40 multiplied by 20, which is 800. So the total score of the batsman in 20 matches is 800. Now it's given that the average in the next 10 matches is 13. So the total score of the batsman in the next 10 matches is equal to average multiplied by number of matches, which is 13 multiplied by 10, which gives us 130. So the total score of the batsman in the next 10 matches is 130. So the total score of the batsman in 20 matches is 800 plus 130, which is 930. So the total score of the batsman in 30 matches is 930 and total number of matches is 30. So average in 30 matches is equal to 930 divided by 30, which gives us 31. So the batsman's average in all the 30 matches is 31. In a match of 50 overs, Team A's average runs for the first 30 overs was 4.5 runs per over, while for the remaining 20 overs, the average was 5.5 runs per over. Team B chased the target and lost by 10 runs. Find the average runs per over scored by Team B. Team B played all the 50 overs. So to find the average runs uh, per over scored by Team B, use the formula Team B's average runs per over is equal to total runs scored by Team B divided by total number of overs. Now we know that the total number of overs played by Team B is 50. So if we find the total runs scored by Team B, then we can easily calculate Team B's average runs per over. Now it's given that Team A's average runs for the first 30 overs is 4.5 runs per over. So total runs scored by Team A in the first 30 overs is equal to average multiplied by number of overs, which is 4.5 multiplied by 30, which gives us 135 runs. So the total runs scored by Team A in the first 30 overs is 135 runs. Now it's given that Team A's average runs for the next 20 overs is 5.5 runs per over. So total runs scored by Team A in the next 20 overs is average multiplied by number of overs, which is 5.5 multiplied by 20, which gives us 110 runs. So total runs scored by Team A in the next 20 overs is 110 runs. In the first 30 overs, Team A scored 135 runs, and in the next 20 overs, Team A scored 110 runs. So total runs scored by Team A in 50 overs is 135 plus 110, which is 245 runs. So total runs scored by Team A in 50 overs is 245 runs. It's given that Team B lost by 10 runs and Team B played all the 50 overs. So since Team A scored 245 runs in 50 overs and Team B lost by 10 runs, it means that Team B scored 245 minus 10, that is 235 runs in 50 overs. So now we know Team B's score in 50 overs is 235. Also we know that the total number of overs played by Team B is 50. So Team B's average runs per over is 235 divided by 50, which is 4.7. So the average runs per over scored by Team B is 4.7. The average of the runs of a cricket player in 20 matches is 35. If the average of the first 12 matches is 45, find the average of the last 8 matches. So we can find the average of the last 8 matches using the formula average of the last 8 matches is equal to total runs scored in the last 8 matches divided by number of matches. Now we know that the number of matches is 8. So if we find the total runs scored in the last 8 matches, then we can easily find the average of the last 8 matches. It's given that the average of the runs of a cricket player in 20 matches is 35. So total runs scored in 20 matches is equal to average multiplied by number of matches, which is 35 multiplied by 20, which is 700 runs. So total runs scored in 20 matches is 700 runs. It's given that the average of the first 12 matches is 45. So total runs scored in the first 12 matches is average multiplied by number of matches, which is 45 multiplied by 12, which is 540 runs. So total runs scored in the first 12 matches is 540 runs. Total runs scored in 20 matches is 700 runs. Total runs scored in 12 matches is in the first 12 matches is 540 runs. So total runs scored in the last 8 matches is equal to total runs scored in 20 matches minus total runs scored in the first 12 matches, which is 700 minus 540, which gives us 160 runs. So total runs scored in the last 8 matches is 160 runs. So the average of the last 8 matches is equal to 160 divided by 8, which is 20. So the average of the last 8 matches is 20. In a one-day match of 50 overs in an innings, Team A had a run rate of 6.1 runs per over. Team B is playing and 10 overs are left and the required run rate to tie the match is 6.5 runs per over. What is Team B's score now? Now it's given that Team A had a run rate of 6.1 runs per over in a 50 overs match. So the total runs scored by Team A is equal to average multiplied by number of overs, which is 6.1 multiplied by 50, that is 305 runs. So Team A scored 305 runs in 50 overs. Now it's given that in 10 overs, the required run rate by Team B to tie the match is 6.5 runs per over. So total runs to be scored by Team B in 10 overs is average multiplied by number of overs, which is 6.5 multiplied by 10, that is 65 runs. So Team B has to score 65 runs in the last 10 overs. Now we know that Team A has scored 305 runs. Now to tie the match, Team B also has to score 305 runs. Now we have found out that Team B has to score 65 runs in the last 10 overs so that it can tie the match. So Team B's score now is 300 5 minus 305 minus 65, which is 240 runs. So Team B score now is 240 runs. The average of runs scored by a cricketer in his 99 innings is 99. How many runs will he have to score in his 100th innings so that his average of runs in 100 innings may be 100? Now it's given that the average of runs scored by a cricketer in his 99 innings is 99. So total runs scored in 99 innings is equal to average multiplied by number of innings, that is 99 multiplied by 99, which is 9801 runs. So the cricketer has scored 9801 runs in 99 innings. Now to have an average of runs in 100 innings as 100, the total runs to be scored is equal to average multiplied by number of innings, which is 100 multiplied by 100, that is 10,000 runs. So the cricketer has to score 10,000 runs in 100 innings to have an average of 100. But we know that he has already scored 9,801 runs in 99 innings. So he has to score 10,000 minus 9,801, that is 199 runs in his 100th inning, so that his average of runs in 100 innings may be 100. Viewers, please go through this video till you have understood the concept. Practice more problems on this topic to understand the concept thoroughly as well as to increase your speed. Please do watch our video on the topic Solved Problems on Average Based on Equation. If you have liked this video, please like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you.